We sincerely apologize for that disruption in our broadcast. It was occasioned by some unforeseen technical glitches which have now been resolved. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Toba was making a point just a while ago. Would you like to push that a little further?
Yeah, so as it stands, politics is about people and persons and opportunity. So Obi is a good man, we said that. He's a very frugal man, and Nigeria needs a frugal person at this point. Okay, because we're sparsed out on our loans, we have a huge debt burden, a lot of factors call for a frugal person. He's more likable to the masses. He did better in market campaigns than in political campaigns. So those are the issues that go well for him. But the ability to be able to win a primaries as he is, I would compare Obi to Goodluck. They don't like primaries. They don't. The only reason Goodluck is not really in this contest is that he doesn't like primaries. He doesn't want to lose in a semi-final, but it's okay to lose in the final because he knows that his chances are more with the people than the politicians.
Right.
And it is the politicians you will meet in the semi-finals, in the primaries. So even if Obi had stayed in ADC, Atiku would have beaten him more than he beat Amici.
Just hold on a second. So that's just suggesting that if the ADC or perhaps even the NDC had looked at the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, and said, look, we're handing you our ticket at the cloud of good. No contest, you have right of first refusal. You're saying there's a chance he would have jumped in the ring.
Of course.
The PDP gave it to him.
Even ADC, remember Goodluck did a meeting with David Mark in his house.
Right.
Outside Atiku, outside Obi, outside everybody.
Just one.
He weighed that. But I can't just carry a party's ticket and give you.
Especially with the caliber of people in the party.
You have to be willing for a fight. Obi went to Labour Party because there was only one person, Pat Utomi at the time. They had a one-on-one discussion. Pat Utomi stepped down for him. The party accepted him. He became a candidate. So he cannot go to a place, and even in NDC, immediately he sealed the ticket. They closed, if you remember, they closed the form for presidential and extended the form for every other position by 1 week.
It was probably his agreement with them.
I'm just saying, he cannot be in a place where he is contesting with delegates. He won't succeed. So this is known to us, politicians, and we understand why he moved. But they could have done more due diligence on NDC. We suggested 2 or 3 other parties to them. The one of them I suggested to them has not even come out. It will be out next week. There was a delay in judgments that made that option not viable. But get good top analysts that will critique things well for you. Don't get a bunch of emotional roller coaster people giving you advice.
Call the obedient.
No, I didn't call them anything. I didn't call them anything so that they will not block me on the road. But those ones will work for you when you have sealed things and when you are campaigning. They are good at that. You don't need to pay them. They are online. They will disturb. They will drag anybody that drags you. You understand? And they will pay you. That's their job. And even if you try to join hands with those who they think is against Nigeria, they will begin to drag you. So those are the things that went well for him. But you see, politics is not just about having one thing. Okay, if they go and find a party to merge with now, what party are they going to go to? Those are the options. And then Seriake Dixon has to come out more forthrightly. It's not, because right now you're making it look like it's the opposition that is trying to throw spanners in your works. You need to come out forthrightly and say that your process of emerging was faulty. And the court also saw that we didn't look at all the documents. We only looked at the final documents that was presented to us. If he's not careful, he may find himself in jail.
That's Seriake Dixon.
I am telling you.
It looks quite serious. So I'm sure Priscilla wants to jump in.
Well, I want to ask, if all of these issues now are coming up with trusted political leaders, I mean, people that we could entrust our votes to say, we trust you to be the president, and then you're not able to do your due diligence, at party level. You're not able to ask the right questions. I don't know. Does it put him at that place where Nigerians should start to question him?
No, of course.
Of judgment?
If you really want to really critique him, you need to begin to look at. Yes, I know he tried to register a party, but that didn't scale. Even if he didn't scale, he should have contested it in court. My friend's party, who is going to get their certificate this week, took it to court. This is not somebody. He's not even a millionaire. Okay. Took the matter to court.
When the Obi factor comes in, the normal court proceedings will be different.
Changing narrative.
They will be changing.
No, what I'm saying is there's a law. It's not that. See, there's a law. And the law gave INEC particular responsibilities to do. If as at this time you have not critiqued, by 60 days, you have not told a person that this is the reason he has not met the criteria, then he is already a registered party. It's in the law, it's in the constitution. That is what my friend's party helped on, and 2 other parties, and they got registered back on. NDP, which is has Honorable Ada as their leader, is also a party. But that's also another completely different story. She is the all in all of the party.
Right.
She's the presidential candidate,
the chairman,
the national chairman, and by her constitution, by the party's constitution, virtually 90% of power is vested in her. So that option was there, but it was weak. There was DLA. Nobody even did their due diligence to check on that party to see whether there was an option.
Yeah.
There are other parties that won 1 seat in 2023, which is why Atiku and others went for ADC, because ADC won 2 positions in House of Rep. Though they kicked out the person
now. That's a bit.
Abejide. Yes, they have kicked him out of the party.
Let's say he resigned membership of the party.
Yeah, but they first suspended him within the party, and he has been the party leader for like 8 years, sponsoring the party. Those are the kind of problems that opposition parties even cause for themselves. How do you get into a party because of my victory? I've been sponsoring a party for 8 years, and I'm the first person you people want to kick out when you get in. These are things that Tinubu and others didn't do 2015.
But they are doing it now.
Yes, you gather yourself. You find there's always going to be some problems to fix. Fix it.
Talking about possible mergers, I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of Showore at this moment, but if he's still detained election period, it's not possible that he swaps placement.
So
the candidacy.
His candidacy with the Peter Obi movement.
Well, I think there has to be a talk amongst politicians themselves. Maybe Toba can maybe get the brief to advise them.
If you know anything about Showore, that the man is not afraid of life or death. Because the amount of matters he has put his head inside, you know that. And even he stepped down as chairman
of the party,
of his party. But he's still chairman of his party.
So he's de facto chairman.
Yeah. So those are the things. You see, you see.
So what's any possible collaboration?
PRP is there. PRP is there.
With Donald Duke as the presidential candidate.
Yes. Oh, can settle with Donald Duke. He can be settled. No, I'm not joking. And they should be paying me for this kind of advice.
Who is going to settle Donald Duke?
Who wants to come in? Anybody who wants to, let me never say anything. Okay. Anybody who wants to come in needs to look at that. PRP is even a core northern party.
Is that an advantage politically?
Yes. Because they see you as, okay, you're coming, they already have their own northern structures, though not very big and very strong. And they have some people on board. But don't go there with this high-mindedness.
Exactly.
Go and negotiate. Go and swap positions. You won't get everything you want. They won't get everything they want. That is how a negotiation
compromise.
Works. Yes, compromise. Then come back to the people. Apologize for not doing due diligence in the first place to go to MDC.
Take responsibility.
Take responsibility. Not the opposition is, the government is fighting us. The government. If you went to a place that was faulty ab initio, see, it will give you more credence with the people. We didn't look deeply enough, and these issues are, we have made these options. Now Siraki Dixon wants to be the one to lead them to go and negotiate with another.
That would mean that he's still in charge.
So
this would favor.
I won't say more than that. They will learn.
This point of
negotiation,
at the point of negotiation, I think that is where there is always a bone of contention that arises in future. With the ADC, there was a negotiation. All of a sudden, one person feels sidelined. The NDC, same thing happened. There was a point where I think it was the Kwankwasia movement. Kwankwaso himself was threatening to, want to leave because of the fact that maybe he was not. They weren't meeting up with the terms and agreement they had at their point of coming in. So, is it the political factor or the politician factor that says we cannot keep to our words, no matter what we say, no matter what we agree? It's just. You
see, you have to be able to fight for it. Obi has boys, but in his need to, let me choose my words carefully, in his need to be and look very nice. He didn't fight for anybody for ticket in NDC. You go and get your ticket. While Kwankwaso in the north looked for the candidates that were strongest in different states and fought for them. This candidate must emerge. This candidate. So when some of his people emerged and some of his other people were being swapped by NDC, they must. It's either you give me this or I'm leaving, because I cannot be able to guarantee. It's already hard getting the support from my people for NDC and OB. Then if you make this worse for me, what am I doing here?
Yes.
So he was able to stand his ground for his own people.
But OB couldn't do that.
OB's own is, I don't want to do anything that will make me look stained.
Let's not rock the boat.
Yes. So if you don't make it, when I'm president, you will get something. See, Aisha is a clear example of that. You just stay.
So you're saying Aisha is one of the 4 guys?
Yes, and I have many other 4 guys that I'm still praying for. So these are just different people, but in politics, in freedom fighting, anywhere you have to fight. That's why it's called freedom fighting. There's fighting inside freedom. You have to fight.
And the president puts it better. He says nobody gives you self-suit power. I look at
nobody anywhere. Nobody. It's freedom fighting. Keep that word. They should call it fighting freedom, so that the fighting is in front. You have to fight
before freedom.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about the APC. I mean, you have made clear, both in front of camera and off of it, that there's nothing stopping the APC from winning presidential election next year, unless, of course, all of these other titans, so to speak, on the opposition front are able to come together, which you don't see happening. But there are people who are telling us too, even within the APC, that all is not well with the ruling party. That, look, as it stands today, you have no idea the number of disgruntled, aggrieved APC members, including at the very top of it, who are likely going to work against the party while still retaining membership of the party.
Some of them are already rejecting the
results. What are your thoughts?
Results
right.
to the next
Yes, of course, it is a political party. You cannot bring let me call them, they say they have 10 million people. Let me say you cannot bring 5 million people.
Which is still in dispute.
To a table and then not expect different opinions and disgruntled people. That's why even in the timeline of elections, there is election and there is appeal. Those are the matters that come into play. What is the president or APC going to do about the aggrieved people when they have released their positions? For the Senate, they have released 80% of the list. 20% is still not announced. That's because there are issues in different places. I'll give an example, but I will not mention the state. Okay, I'll mention the state. I won't mention the particular position. One seat is empty in Adamawa State that has not been announced. And the candidates are there. There's a preferred person by somebody. Okay, and the other candidates are saying we will not step down, and one of them has been offered to be returning officer of Tinubu's presidential election, and then maybe other things will be offered, and some of the monies he has spent was refunded by the candidate. That position has still not been announced until they fully agree. That person is now not aggrieved. Then that position has still not been announced. So there is a settling. You can't really, except you're going to do something else. There's a settling of matters that need to be done. And APC is doing it step by step. Of course, APC knows, Tinubu knows that there's still a large amount of people in the north that want to betray him. He's not new to politics, he's not new to betrayal. He has his plan, so he's waiting patiently for his time. But you see, in my opinion, Tinubu has 34 governors. The other I don't see Oti really being against Tinubu. They have been friends for 40 years.
He's a member of the Labour Party.
Yes, they've been friends for 40 years. Adeleke has his election in August. He has been praising Tinubu any other day. Solodu has said Abga will not have a presidential candidate. Right. Only Makinde and Bala tried to enter into APC 3 times. He's in APL now. Yeah. He tried to enter APC 3 times and failed. They offered him this senatorial seat he wants. He wanted to still produce the governor, and people said, you can't come in here and produce your successor and get Senate, choose one. So he's back at APM. Makinde also has done 2 meetings with Tinubu, and it has not worked out well, so he's back in his APM. I can't really see them. You see, this is why I don't, we too trust politicians. Let me use that word. People who have done meetings with the president and come back and their deal is not taken. How against the president are they? So, and people keep telling me that the president, the governors are nothing. But if one governor defects to your own party, you will not start celebrating. Right. So how can you call 32 governors nothing? So, in my opinion, if we don't have one opposition facing APC, Tinubu will win.
So what's the likelihood of a one opposition come 2027? Do you think, let me even ask it, do you think, who are the major opposition figures, I mean, on the presidential race? Yes, we've seen an Atiku, yes, we've seen Peter Obi, we've seen Donald Duke of the PRP and other parties there. But it's clear. You didn't mention Sowore on the AAC.
Sowore on the AAC, sorry.
Of course, Sowore on the AAC. Let me even ask. Let me ask the question of Sowore first before I ask this. So, do you think Sowore even has a chance in all of this?
There's a scenario. Have you watched? There's this film called that has a guy called Dr. Strange, the guy who sees possibilities and checks 1,000 possibilities or 1,000,000 possibilities. If I am in that realm, there's a chance in which if every other candidate is stifled out, people might just say, this Sowore, no they hear word. And if you enter, you go pepper opposition, you go pepper criminals, let us go for him. There is that opportunity. But he too has a lot of baggage. Like only you contest. You see, there's something about only you contesting every time that is not good in a democracy. So let me come back to Atiku now.
But that paid off for the late former President Buhari?
Yeah, it paid off because other people now joined to support him. He didn't win the Southwest at any of the other elections.
He had to have a handshake.
Yes, he had to have a handshake from Tinubu, and then Amici bring in some things from his own region.
But that can also happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the people that were in the port, Tinubu was not in contesting in that election. Imagine if Tinubu wanted to contest that election. Then Buhari would have failed.
Right.
Tinubu, 2007, his party brought another candidate. Atiku, who was his candidate in 2007. In 2011, Ribadu was his candidate. In 2015, Buhari was his candidate. So you see a man who has, on his own platforms, supported other candidates, waiting for his turn. This is where Atiku doesn't have goodwill. At this point, I'm not saying all over, he has goodwill with the North to help him win now, to collect power from Tinubu. But his persistent, perennial contesting since 1993 has run him out of steam, and people just, okay, what are you coming out for every year, every 4 years? So, and you asked me on this show last time that will Atiku step down. I told you if Atiku steps down from ADC, I will walk barefooted home. I told you that at the ADC point, and of course because we're sure about these people.
Obviously, you're wearing your shoes.
I'm wearing my shoes. So you see, it's about knowing these people. He sees this as his chance. Obi sees this as his very narrow chance if he does 1 year. So he has been...
one term.
Right. So he has been mounting that also. And Tinubu sees it as, if they are divided, I'll make it through. So I know that, you see, the reason why you have multiple southern candidates is a northern agenda. Always the game, have multiple southern candidates, have one northern candidate, so that you can divide the southern vote and you can gather your own vote. But they did the same thing to Tinubu in 2023 in the primaries, scattered the southern votes, and the man still won with all the northern votes. So I am just being realistic with the politics I know. Except, okay, Nigerians now, how many people have have gone to get their PVC? Look at the last 3 elections. Look at Ekiti election. Let's start with the last election. Let's look at any of the by-elections. Did any of the issues? PDP was the opposition, was the closest to APC. So
in 2023.
Yes, and I mean even this Ekiti election that took place. Right. PDP was second, ADC was third.
Leading opposition.
Yes. So okay, has the mouth to say he's the leading opposition. FCT elections, PDP was the one challenging. So I don't really see this, apart from the clouds I'm hearing as a core politician, I don't see them, I don't even see that. See, I even believe that.
Present in the by-election.
I even believe that maybe, okay, let me say maybe, and so that they don't come and carry after this. I believe that El-Rufai is actually chilling in custody, knowing that the opposition will not succeed in 2027, and he and Kwankwaso are the top people to have the chance in 2031. Kwankwaso is also working, in my opinion, with Obi, so that when it's the time of the North, he will be able to tell Obi and Oshiboto, I supported
Let's do this together.
I supported you that time. Everybody is playing their own game, and you cannot stop them from playing their game. The World Cup is going on, everybody is playing their game.
It's a game of games.
It's a game. So everybody has their own opinion to how it will pan out. I think 2031 would see Ubasani, would see El-Rufai, would see Kwankwaso. Those are the major options. See, this game is planned as far as 2039. People are still talking about 2027.
Exactly.
Let's talk about INEC in all of this. INEC has also been bruised. Some people say a bit battered, maybe battered a little early, given that the fact that the chairman is relatively new in the saddle.
Yes.
But can we really have a smooth process or something close to it without having INEC properly positioned? INEC has been inundated, all right, with a barrage of lawsuits. INEC has to either go to court or join a suit as an appellant or as a respondent. It's overwhelming, and analysts say it is spreading the commission thin in terms of financial resources, in terms of manpower, in terms of mental, as it were, energy to be able to stay focused on the big picture, which is 2027. What's your assessment?
I think so far they've done a good job. They've not been hasty to...
Does that include Ekiti?
Yes, what would they have done in Ekiti? I have friends who work in INEC who are in Ekiti. You have to look at the terrain. There are some terrains that all you need to do is to raise one tribal sentiment and the election is won.
All right.
There are places like that.
Does it mean INEC did their job?
Yes, it did. Let me take you to the Ekiti elections. Do you know that 90% of Nigerians were not aware that Ekiti election was taking place as at Friday?
Exactly. I agree.
So it came upon them as a surprise on Saturday.
Go and ask people. They don't even know the candidates. They don't even know who won. They don't even know his name. You see us, we just think social media is most people don't know the name of the Ekiti governor.
But should that stop INEC or should that...
No, what I'm saying is that does not exempt. I'm just saying that so that when such people think they want to tell you about the election, they don't even know the name of the contestant to start with.
Because we saw videos circulating on social media. People handed over PVC cards that looked as if it didn't belong to them. We saw videos of people coming to give testimonies of how they have collected their 20,000 naira. And all of this, it shows, it's clear election malpractice.
So how many people, how many videos did you see, and how many places should INEC go on that day to collect the people? They didn't video themselves on the polling units. They went to their houses and videoed themselves.
Well, they videoed themselves collecting PVCs.
I've I've not seen that video, so
Okay.
I'm careful to comment on what I've not seen.
Okay.
Even if you collected PVCs and you headed to the place, it is a work of INEC if the beavers are functional to. And there's also the court. If you believe that the person who used this card is not the candidate, then go. But I am telling you from what I know on politics, Ekiti was soundly and roundly beaten. The only person that was even close was the PDP candidate, and I talked with analysts and politicians across board. INEC needs to do better. It's going to be harder. See, they will be spread thin, like you said. There are a lot of things going on, but I think they've handled themselves fairly well. And the only issue I see here is if the IRF is settled and in, then we have a tighter election.
Well, which I think Nigerians have thrown away that conversation. We're not talking around beavers. We're not talking about IRF again. Because it looks as if the Electoral Act that was passed eliminated it, but that's not the case.
It's not the case.
It's not the case. So Nigerians have left that conversation of IRF, beavers. A lot of people said, we had a guest from Nasarawa that talked about how the beavers were not functional. You take beavers to polling centers, polling units, and they are not functional. People have to bypass that protocol to vote. So these are conversations we should be having. And this is clearly the fault of INEC. If you have beavers, given to people or used at polling units that are not functional, where was the place of preparation? Why are we having such faulty beavers on elections day?
Okay, I voted since 1999. I have observed the elections. I was in Edo, you are aware.
Right.
The beavers work perfectly everywhere I was. Now, I'm not saying there are not places where beavers don't work, but that general notion being pushed that the beavers don't work is not true.
We're supposed to get results from beavers. I hope we're aware.
Yes, I am aware, because you accredit. My thumbprint is almost, even in the bank when I go, I struggle to get my thumbprint. So every time I get to a place where I need to fingerprint, I'm worried whether I'll have to clean it. But every single time, after 2, 3, 5 attempts, they don't allow me vote until I put my hands on the beaver and it goes through. So this is my personal experience. I've seen it. You see, like I told you, once people lose, they have 1,000 good reasons to.
Incidentally, I think we also have 1,000 reasons to end this program now, because every time you have Toba on the program, it's going to be a long drawn-out conversation, given the incisive nature of the engagement. We'd like to say a big thank you to you for coming on the program this Monday morning. Quite a lot of sacrifice made here. This is what we're leaving it on the program. Let's quickly remind you that the views of all of our guests across all of our programs are their opinions. I am Buyag Mofwegwe, thanking you for watching.
And I am Priscilla Obasi, wishing you an amazing day ahead.